Howdy, folks. Would you Walls from NeedCoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer. Yeah, sorry, it's been a little while. Things have just been crazy. But we're back now, and we're here to talk about another movie. Here's how this works for the uninitiated. I've just left the cinema. That's it there. And I'm going to talk to you about the movie that I've seen on my way home. Hence, Wayhomer. Now, the movie that we're here to talk about today is Easy A. Okay, so, Easy A. Emma Stone and a cast of goodness. Basically, the synopsis is this. Emma Stone plays Olive, who is a high school student who is pretty much persona non gratis and is just not on anybody's radar. And she makes up a lie about a tryst that she had with a young man, which gets overheard by a, shall we say, a very, I don't know, what's the polite way of talking about a religious whack job? A religious whack job. I think that's polite enough. Played by Amanda Bynes. Played quite well by Amanda Bynes, by the way. And it quickly spreads throughout the school. And, you know, with a guy that didn't even exist. And as a result, our heroine, Olive, decides to, is presented with a situation where she can either deny, well, she's not even presented with a situation where she can deny it, but she decides to, for the betterment of others, she thinks, to enhance her newfound reputation, and go from there. And it plays along with Daniel Hawthorne's Scarlet Letter, hence the title and so forth. I do need a little bit of air, good lord. So there's basic synopsis. Alright, so here's the deal. The problem with a lot of teen movies these days is that they're not very, I don't know, intelligent, shall we say? Not well written. And we pine for the teen movies that we grew up with, the films of John Hughes and so forth. Well, guess what? So does Olive, and she says as much. And what you've got in this film is a lot of great things. Rob was right in an episode of Weekend Justice where he compared it to 10 Things I Hate About You, which was the really great kind of high school version of Taming of the Shrew, which was actually quite effective. This is three things. It's not a high school retelling of the Scarlet Letter so much as it is playing off of the idea of the Scarlet Letter. So that makes it automatically awesome in that it's dealing with literature in dealing with a teen film, A. It's also a kind of indirect love letter, maybe a love postcard, love fax, I don't know, to the films of the 80s like John Hughes and so forth, without being an annoying, you know, there's a difference between like a love letter, just like, you know, Dead Snow was a love letter to the films of Sam Raimi, and Shaun of the Dead was a love letter to George Romero films. It goes beyond homage and isn't annoying. That's, I guess, what I mean by love letter. And so it's that, but it's also kind of, it almost sort of reinvents the genre by acknowledging what's come before and creating a kind of, you know, new kind of smart teen movie. It's not that it's the only smart teen movie we've had, but let's face it, they don't come along very often. And I think if more films would follow this model, I think they'd be a lot more effective and a lot more entertaining. By the way, have you figured out that I enjoyed the film? Because I did enjoy the film. Emma Stone, who we saw in Zombieland, is fantastic. She's just perfect for what she does. Pretty much there's not anybody in the cast that I look at and they go, nah. I mean, Thomas Hayden Church is always welcome, and he is excellent in this. Stanley Tucci and Patricia Clarkson play probably the best screen parents of recent memory. You will watch this film and you will hope that if you ever spawn or have spawned that you will be as cool as they are. Because it's not they're not unrealistically cool. That's the cool part, is that they are, what's the word? It's a coolness one can actually reach. Does that make sense? And that's the thing. The film is not unrealistic, really. The film doesn't take place in some weird alternate universe where strange things happen. You could actually see this happening. And it's like, it goes to what Rob said as well. It's a nice portrait of how high schools work. And it doesn't flinch away from the troubles that people have in high school who are not fitting in anywhere. They're the outcasts. Speaking as somebody who was one for most of high school, I can attest to the fact that I'm sure it's probably a lot like that even now. So it's just a really... And here's the thing. All the people that were in the film that performed really well, they couldn't have done it without a really, really smart script. And I did not catch the names of the scribes, but they're to be commended because it read really well. It had that kind of, shall we say, David Mamet quickness without all the profanity, although there was a bit of profanity. So it's just very enjoyable, very smart, and I would say, honestly, if you're looking for something to go watch, go see this. I mean, yes, you can watch it on DVD, and it's not a big screen movie, so you're not going to lose anything, and I think it's going to do really well on DVD, frankly. I don't even know how it's done in the box office. But I will say that as far as just pure entertainment, and kind of that, you know that feeling you get when you just see a solidly good movie and you just go, that was good, that was time well spent. I mean, how often do we get to say, that was time well spent when we see a movie these days? This is time well spent. I recommend you go and see it, because I was a blast. I had an absolute blast. And if you are, familiar with literature and you're familiar with movies of the 80s, you're gonna enjoy it on a different level. Not to the point where it's, a completely different level, a completely different film, but there's certain just little jabs in there that you're going to enjoy. So, Easy A, I would say it's a solid 4 cups. I don't normally give films like this really high ratings just because they don't normally transcend to higher levels of accomplishment, but this, I think, really did a good job. So, solid 4 cups. And like I said, I think you should see it on the big screen if possible. Go catch a matinee this weekend. It'll probably still be playing. So there you go. Easy A. So that's it. A couple of bits of business before I have to deal with these trucks. Thank you to everybody who enjoys these things. I'm sorry we're not getting out more. It's been a little crazy recently, but we're trying to catch up. We've got 32 days of Halloween going on now, and that's a bit of craziness, but it's okay. I'm not sleeping. Anybody who shares this on Facebook, stumbles it, retweets it, that is all extremely helpful, and we thank you for doing that. And come check us out for more of the shenanigans on Need Coffee. So we'll see you soon, guys. Bye.